Do you guys understand how ridiculous the very first NFL playoff game was? It was a show in the most literal, unfortunate sense. It was like, if you could imagine with me, if a professional football game was played on an ice hockey rink that just had the circus in town the night before, so there was also a bunch of like mulch and elephant poop everywhere. Oh no wait, that's exactly what happened. It's giving Muppets put on a show to save the old theater. Okay, let's go back. It was 1932, so right in the prime of the Great Depression. The Chicago Bears versus the Portsmouth, Ohio Spartans. No joke, this was the Chicago Bears Detroit Lions rivalry before the Lions were even the Lions. Since it was the Great Depression, the NFL did exist, but they had been whittled down to 8 teams from 22 teams. No playoffs. Whoever had the best record at the end of the season won. But the Bears and the Spartans had tied twice in this season already, and the owners of the teams just like really wanted some extra money, so they were like, let's do a playoff game and it'll be a tiebreaker, and also whoever wins this game will win the league. It was so last minute, in fact, the star quarterback from the Bears, who was the highest scoring player in the league that entire season, couldn't make it because he was a basketball coach and he requested time off to go back for the game, and his boss said no. Originally it was supposed to be played at Wrigley Field. I didn't even know that the Bears used to play at Wrigley Field. But then there was a huge blizzard, and so Wrigley got covered in like waist deep snow, and also it was like you cold outside. So then a game that was last minute to begin with was at the last minute moved to Chicago Stadium, which was the home of the Chicago Blackhawks, the hockey team. But the thing was, the Salvation Army was having a circus in town for 2 days the week leading up to it, so the ground, which was already concrete, was covered with mulch and like a mix of dirt, and they used to reuse their dirt to save money because Great Depression, so it would be filled with like cigar butts and sticks and like animal droppings from the circus, and it smelled so bad the players were puking on the field. And also, since it was a hockey rink, there was the white perimeter all around the field, like super close in, and dudes just kept running into it, just knocking themselves out. And also, the size of the field was way smaller, and so it was only 80 yards instead of 100 yards, and that included the 10-yard end zones, and so the playing field was actually only 60 yards. So then every time there would be a first down, they would move the ball back 20 yards to accommodate for that difference. They didn't allow drop kicks or field goals because the ball would just hit stuff, including people in the crowd and the keys of the organ. And since the playing field was basically mulch mixed with elephant poop on a concrete slab, nobody scored any points until the fourth quarter because they were just sliding around in elephant crap. There was a very controversial play to end the game. I don't have time to get into it, but the Bears won 9-0. All of the Ohio newspapers were like, this game was a sham, and Chicago was like, you're a sham. And then after the next season, the Portsmouth Spartans got sold and became the Detroit Lions. You know, I also just learned about the Toledo War, in which Michigan and Ohio fought over who got to keep Toledo, and then the Detroit Lions-Bears rivalry. Like, Michigan, are you physically incapable of not beefing with any of your neighbors?